the new god of hate, the new gods of hate, the new god of hate, the new goddess of hate, the new goddesses of hate, the new goddess of hate, the old god of hate, the old gods of hate, the old god of hate, the old goddess of hate, the old goddesses of hate, the old goddess of hate, the greater god of hate, the greater gods of hate, the greater god of hate, the greater goddess of hate, the greater goddesses of hate, the greater goddess of hate, the lesser god of hate, the lesser gods of hate, the lesser god of hate, the lesser goddess of hate, the lesser goddesses of hate, the lesser goddess of hate, the higher god of hate, the higher gods of hate, the higher god of hate, the higher goddess of hate, the higher goddesses of hate, the higher goddess of hate, the lower god of hate, the lower gods of hate, the lower god of hate, the lower goddess of hate, the lower goddesses of hate, the lower goddess of hate, the greater spirit of hate, the greater spirits of hate, the greater spirit of hate, the lesser spirit of hate, the lesser spirits of hate, the lesser spirit of hate, the higher spirit of hate, the higher spirits of hate, the higher spirit of hate, the lower spirit of hate, the lower spirits of hate, the lower spirit of hate, the major god of hate, the major gods of hate, the major god of hate, the major goddess of hate, the major goddesses of hate, the major goddess of hate, the minor god of hate, the minor gods of hate, the minor god of hate, the minor goddess of hate, the minor goddesses of hate, the minor goddess of hate, the superior god of hate, the superior gods of hate, the superior god of hate, the superior goddess of hate, the superior goddesses of hate, the superior goddess of hate, the inferior god of hate, the inferior gods of hate, the inferior god of hate, the inferior goddess of hate, the inferior goddesses of hate, the inferior goddess of hate, the ancestor god of hate, the ancestor gods of hate, the ancestor god of hate, the ancestor goddess of hate, the ancestor goddesses of hate, the ancestor goddess of hate, the ascendant god of hate, the ascendant gods of hate, the ascendant god of hate, the ascendant goddess of hate, the ascendant goddesses of hate, the ascendant goddess of hate, the descendant god of hate, the descendant gods of hate, the descendant god of hate, the descendant goddess of hate, the descendant goddesses of hate, the descendant goddess of hate, the transcendent god of hate, the transcendent gods of hate, the transcendent god of hate, the transcendent goddess of hate, the transcendent goddesses of hate, the transcendent goddess of hate, the past god of hate, the past gods of hate, the past god of hate, the past goddess of hate, the past goddesses of hate, the past goddess of hate, the present god of hate, the present gods of hate, the present god of hate, the present goddess of hate, the present goddesses of hate, the present goddess of hate, the future god of hate, the future gods of hate, the future god of hate, the future goddess of hate, the future goddesses of hate, the future goddess of hate, the authentic god of hate, the authentic gods of hate, the authentic god of hate, the authentic goddess of hate, the authentic goddesses of hate, the authentic goddess of hate, the synthetic god of hate, the synthetic gods of hate, the synthetic god of hate, the synthetic goddess of hate, the synthetic goddesses of hate, the synthetic goddess of hate, the progressive god of hate, the progressive gods of hate, the progressive god of hate, the progressive goddess of hate, the progressive goddesses of hate, the progressive goddess of hate, the regressive god of hate, the regressive gods of hate, the regressive god of hate, the regressive goddess of hate, the regressive goddesses of hate, the regressive goddess of hate, the ordinary god of hate, the ordinary gods of hate, the ordinary god of hate, the ordinary goddess of hate, the ordinary goddesses of hate, the ordinary goddess of hate, the extraordinary god of hate, the extraordinary gods of hate, the extraordinary god of hate, the extraordinary goddess of hate, the extraordinary goddesses of hate, the extraordinary goddess of hate, the static god of hate, the static gods of hate, the static god of hate, the static goddess of hate, The static goddesses of hate. The static goddess of hate. The dynamic god of hate. The dynamic gods of hate. The dynamic god of hate. The dynamic goddess of hate. The dynamic goddesses of hate. The dynamic goddess of hate. The land god of hate. The land gods of hate. The land god of hate. The land goddess of hate. The land goddesses of hate. The land goddess of hate. The sea god of hate. The sea gods of hate. The sea god of hate. The sea goddess of hate. The sea goddesses of hate. The sea goddess of hate. The sky god of hate. The sky gods of hate. The sky god of hate. The sky goddess of hate. The sky goddesses of hate. The sky goddess of hate. The god of hate. The gods of hate. The god of hate. The goddess of hate. The goddesses of hate. The goddess of hate. The half god of hate. The half gods of hate. The half god of hate. The half goddess of hate. The half goddesses of hate. The half goddess of hate. The vessel of hate. The vessels of hate. The vessel of hate. The name of hate. The names of hate. The name of hate. The person of hate. The persons of hate. The person of hate. The persona of hate. The personas of hate. The persona of hate. The personage of hate. The personages of hate. The personage of hate. The personality of hate. The personalities of hate. The personality of hate. The personification of hate. The personifications of hate. The personification of hate. The image of hate. The images of hate. The image of hate. The imagination of hate. The imaginations of hate. The imagination of hate. The belief of hate. The beliefs of hate. The belief of hate. The thought of hate. The thoughts of hate. The thought of hate. The word of hate. The words of hate. The word of hate. The action of hate. The actions of hate. The action of hate. The reaction of hate. The reactions of hate. The reaction of hate. The feeling of hate. The feelings of hate. The feeling of hate. The situation of hate. The situations of hate. The situation of hate. The circumstance of hate. The circumstances of hate. The circumstance of hate. The environment of hate. The environments of hate. The environment of hate. The relationship of hate. The relationships of hate. The relationship of hate. The number of hate. The numbers of hate. The number of hate. The formula of hate. The formulas of hate. The formula of hate. The equation of hate. The equations of hate. The equation of hate. The theory of hate. The theories of hate. The theory of hate. The symbol of hate. The symbols of hate. The symbol of hate. The color of hate. The colors of hate. The color of hate. The thing of hate. The things of hate. The thing of hate. The way of hate. The ways of hate. The way of hate. The place of hate. The places of hate. The place of hate. The time of hate. The times of hate. The time of hate. The event of hate. The events of hate. The event of hate. The result of hate. The results of hate. The result of hate. The crown of hate. The crowns of hate. The crown of hate. The throne of hate. The thrones of hate. The throne of hate. The hate king. The hate kings. The hate kingdom. The hate kingdoms. The hate king's subject. The hate king's subjects. The hate king's dominion. The hate king's dominions. The kingdom of hate. The kingdoms of hate. The kingdom of hate. The hate queen. The hate queens. The hate queendom. The hate queendoms. The hate queen's subject. The hate queen's subjects. The hate queen's dominion. The hate queen's dominions. The queendom of hate. The queendoms of hate. The queendom of hate. The hate prince. The hate princes. The hate princedom. The hate princedoms. The hate prince's subject. The hate prince's subjects. The hate prince's dominion. The hate prince's dominions. The princedom of hate. The princedoms of hate. The princedom of hate. The hate princess. The hate princesses. The hate princessdom. The hate princessdoms. The hate princess's subject. The hate princess's subjects. The hate princess's dominion. The hate princess's dominions. The princessdom of hate. The princessdoms of hate. The princessdom of hate. the Lord of hate, the lords of hate, the Lord of hate, the lordess of hate, the lordesses of hate, the lordess of hate, the priest of hate, the priests of hate, the priest of hate, the priestess of hate, the priestesses of hate, the priestess of hate, the ritual of hate, the rituals of hate, the ritual of hate, the shrine of hate, the shrines of hate, the shrine of hate, the temple of hate, the temples of hate, the temple of hate, the leader of hate, the leaders of hate, the leader of hate, the follower of hate, the followers of hate, the follower of hate, the natural substance of hate, the natural substances of hate, the natural substance of hate, the supernatural substance of hate, the supernatural substances of hate, the supernatural substance of hate, the temporal substance of hate, the temporal substances of hate, the temporal substance of hate, the spiritual substance of hate, the spiritual substances of hate, the spiritual substance of hate, the natural form of hate, the natural forms of hate, the natural form of hate, the supernatural form of hate, the supernatural forms of hate, the supernatural form of hate, the temporal form of hate, the temporal forms of hate, the temporal form of hate, the spiritual form of hate, the spiritual forms of hate, the spiritual form of hate, the age of hate, the ages of hate, the age of hate, the era of hate, the eras of hate, the era of hate, the awakener of hate, the awakeners of hate, the awakener of hate, the awakening of hate, the awakenings of hate, the awakening of hate, the realm of hate, the realms of hate, the realm of hate, the dimension of hate, the dimensions of hate, the dimension of hate, the zone of hate, the zones of hate, the zone of hate, the frequency of hate, the frequencies of hate, the frequency of hate, the century of hate, the centuries of hate, the century of hate, the millennium of hate, the millenniums of hate, the millennium of hate, the purpose of hate, the purposes of hate, the purpose of hate, the meaning of hate, the meanings of hate, the meaning of hate, the culture of hate, the cultures of hate, the culture of hate, the demonstrator of hate, the demonstrators of hate, the demonstrator of hate, the demonstration of hate, the demonstrations of hate, the demonstration of hate, the manifester of hate, the manifestors of hate, the manifester of hate, the manifestation of hate, the manifestations of hate, the manifestation of hate, the presence of hate, the presences of hate, the presence of hate, the glow of hate, the glows of hate, the glow of hate, the goal of hate, the goals of hate, the goal of hate, the plan of hate, the plans of hate, the plan of hate, the book of hate, the books of hate, the book of hate, the philosopher of hate, the philosophers of hate, the philosopher of hate, the philosophy of hate, the philosophies of hate, the philosophy of hate, the releaser of hate, the releasers of hate, the releaser of hate, the release of hate, the releases of hate, the release of hate, the variable of hate, the variables of hate, the variable of hate, the cause of hate, the causes of hate, the cause of hate, the effect of hate, the effects of hate, the effect of hate, the journey of hate, the journeys of hate, the journey of hate, the emergence of hate, the emergences of hate, the emergence of hate, the source of hate, the sources of hate, the source of hate, the originator of hate, the originators of hate, the originator of hate, the origin of hate, the origins of hate, the origin of hate, the forefather of hate, the forefathers of hate, the forefather of hate, the foremother of hate, the foremothers of hate, the foremother of hate, the ancestor of hate, the ancestors of hate, the ancestor of hate, the descendant of hate, the descendants of hate, the descendant of hate, the lineage of hate, the lineages of hate, the lineage of hate, the heritage of hate, the heritages of hate, the heritage of hate, the heir of hate, the heirs of hate, the heir of hate, the co-heir of hate, the co-heirs of hate, the co-heir of hate, the joint heir of hate, the joint heirs of hate, the joint heir of hate, the dynasty of hate, The dynasties of hate. The dynasty of hate. The force of hate. The forces of hate. The force of hate. The law of hate. The laws of hate. The law of hate. The pact of hate. The pacts of hate. The pact of hate. The game of hate. The games of hate. The game of hate. The mask of hate. The masks of hate. The mask of hate. The armor of hate. The armors of hate. The armor of hate. The sword of hate. The swords of hate. The sword of hate. The shield of hate. The shields of hate. The shield of hate. The force shield of hate. The force shields of hate. The force shield of hate. The armored force shield of hate. The armored force shields of hate. The armored force shield of hate. The champion of hate. The champions of hate. The champion of hate. The guardian of hate. The guardians of hate. The guardian of hate. The defender of hate. The defenders of hate. The defender of hate. The protector of hate. The protectors of hate. The protector of hate. The chant of hate. The chants of hate. The chant of hate. The shape of hate. The shapes of hate. The shape of hate. The cube of hate. The cubes of hate. The cube of hate. The cuboid of hate. The cuboids of hate. The cuboid of hate. The sphere of hate. The spheres of hate. The sphere of hate. The spheroid of hate. The spheroids of hate. The spheroid of hate. The prism of hate. The prisms of hate. The prism of hate. The pyramid of hate. The pyramids of hate. The pyramid of hate. The cylinder of hate. The cylinders of hate. The cylinder of hate. The cone of hate. The cones of hate. The cone of hate. The triangle of hate. The triangles of hate. The triangle of hate. The circle of hate. The circles of hate. The circle of hate. The semicircle of hate. The semicircles of hate. The semicircle of hate. The square of hate. The squares of hate. The square of hate. The rectangle of hate. The rectangles of hate. The rectangle of hate. The parallelogram of hate. The parallelograms of hate. The parallelogram of hate. The rhombus of hate. The rhombuses of hate. The rhombus of hate. The trapezoid of hate. The trapezoids of hate. The trapezoid of hate. The polygon of hate. The polygons of hate. The polygon of hate. The pentagon of hate. The pentagons of hate. The pentagon of hate. The hexagon of hate. The hexagons of hate. The hexagon of hate. The septagon of hate. The septagons of hate. The septagon of hate. The octagon of hate. The octagons of hate. The octagon of hate. The nonagon of hate. The nonagons of hate. The nonagon of hate. The decagon of hate. The decagons of hate. The decagon of hate. The evolution of hate. The evolutions of hate. The evolution of hate. The revolution of hate. The revolutions of hate. The revolution of hate. The elemental art of hate. The elemental arts of hate. The elemental art of hate. The elemental science of hate. The elemental sciences of hate. The elemental science of hate. The elemental principle of hate. The elemental principles of hate. The elemental principle of hate. The elemental technology of hate. The elemental technologies of hate. The elemental technology of hate. The low elemental art of hate. The low elemental arts of hate. The low elemental art of hate. The low elemental science of hate. The low elemental sciences of hate. The low elemental science of hate. The low elemental principle of hate. The low elemental principles of hate. The low elemental principle of hate. The low elemental technology of hate. The low elemental technologies of hate. The low elemental technology of hate. The high elemental art of hate. The high elemental arts of hate. The high elemental art of hate. The high elemental science of hate. The high elemental sciences of hate. The high elemental science of hate. The high elemental principle of hate. The high elemental principles of hate. The high elemental principle of hate. The high elemental technology of hate. The high elemental technologies of hate. The high elemental technology of hate. The agent of hate. The agents of hate. The agent of hate. The agency of hate. The agencies of hate. The agency of hate. The amplifier of hate. The amplifiers of hate. The amplifier of hate. The amplification of hate. the amplifications of hate, the amplification of hate, the enhancer of hate, the enhancers of hate, the enhancer of hate, the enhancement of hate, the enhancements of hate, the enhancement of hate, the magnifier of hate, the magnifiers of hate, the magnifier of hate, the magnification of hate, the magnifications of hate, the magnification of hate, the influencer of hate, the influencers of hate, the influencer of hate, the influence of hate, the influences of hate, the influence of hate, the emanator of hate, the emanators of hate, the emanator of hate, the emanation of hate, the emanations of hate, the emanation of hate, the converger of hate, the convergers of hate, the converger of hate, the convergence of hate, the convergences of hate, the convergence of hate, the aura of hate, the auras of hate, the aura of hate, the impression of hate, the impressions of hate, the impression of hate, the intelligence of hate, the intelligences of hate, the intelligence of hate, the sophistication of hate, the sophistications of hate, the sophistication of hate, the genius of hate, the geniuses of hate, the genius of hate, the polymath of hate, the polymaths of hate, the polymath of hate, the psychic of hate, the psychics of hate, the psychic of hate, the knowledge of hate, the knowledges of hate, the knowledge of hate, the understanding of hate, the understandings of hate, the understanding of hate, the wisdom of hate, the wisdoms of hate, the wisdom of hate, the secret of hate, the secrets of hate, the secret of hate, the mystery of hate, the mysteries of hate, the mystery of hate, the revelation of hate, the revelations of hate, the revelation of hate, the tactic of hate, the tactics of hate, the tactic of hate, the strategy of hate, the strategies of hate, the strategy of hate, the strength of hate, the strengths of hate, the strength of hate, the might of hate, the mights of hate, the might of hate, the power of hate, the powers of hate, the power of hate, the authority of hate, the authorities of hate, the authority of hate, the dominion of hate, the dominions of hate, the dominion of hate, the rhythm of hate, the rhythms of hate, the rhythm of hate, the melody of hate, the melodies of hate, the melody of hate, the music of hate, the musics of hate, the music of hate, the lyric of hate, the lyrics of hate, the lyric of hate, the song of hate, the songs of hate, the song of hate, the dance of hate, the dances of hate, the dance of hate, the spirit of hate, the spirits of hate, the spirit of hate, the soul of hate, the souls of hate, the soul of hate, the body of hate, the bodies of hate, the body of hate, the mark of hate, the marks of hate, the mark of hate, the promise of hate, the promises of hate, the promise of hate, the visionary of hate, the visionaries of hate, the visionary of hate, the vision of hate, the visions of hate, the vision of hate, the picture of hate, the pictures of hate, the picture of hate, the sound of hate, the sounds of hate, the sound of hate, the dung of hate, the dungs of hate, the dung of hate, the language of hate, the languages of hate, the language of hate, the communication of hate, the communications of hate, the communication of hate, the people of hate, the peoples of hate, the people of hate, the society of hate, the societies of hate, the society of hate, the fortress of hate, the fortresses of hate, the fortress of hate, the government of hate, the governments of hate, the government of hate, the city of hate, the cities of hate, the city of hate, the nation of hate, the nations of hate, the nation of hate, the civilization of hate, the civilizations of hate, the civilization of hate, the world of hate, the worlds of hate, the world of hate,